My wife said, marriage is unpaid labor, so I made her labor for her own paycheck. Invoice delivered as requested. Update 3. The next day, she tried a different approach. She invited her best friend over for lunch, probably hoping for more support. I made sure to be working in my office, where I could hear their conversation. He's being completely unreasonable, she was telling her friend. Marriage isn't supposed to be a business transaction. But didn't you say you wanted to be paid for housework? Her friend asked. That's different. I was talking about recognition and fairness by asking for money. It was about the principle. Her friend was quiet for a moment. Look, I love you, but I have to ask, do you actually want to pay him $4,000 a month to be married to you? Because that's what you're arguing for here. Of course not. Then maybe you should tell him that marriage isn't a business after all. I heard my wife sigh heavily, but then I was wrong. You were wrong. You turned your marriage into a negotiation and he's a better negotiator than you are. That evening, she was quieter than usual. No demands, no lectures about patriarchy, no feminist talking points, just silence as she realized her support system was crumbling. Wednesday morning, I found a note on the kitchen counter. She'd gone to stay at her sister's house for a few days to think things through. Perfect. While she was gone, I calculated exactly how much money she'd saved me by not being there. No utilities usage, no food costs, no hot water for our long showers. I itemized everything and sent her a daily report. Day 1 without wife, savings of $47 in operational costs. Day 2 without wife, additional savings of $52 due to reduced grocery consumption and utility use. By day 3, she was calling me. Stop sending me those updates, she said, and I could hear the exhaustion in her voice. Just keeping you informed of the cost-benefit analysis. Turns out your absence is actually profitable for me. That's not funny. It's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be educational. You wanted to know the real value of marriage. Now you're learning it from both sides. She came home on Friday afternoon, looking like she'd spent the week wrestling with reality and law. Her suitcase sat by the door as she stood in our living room, taking in the space like she was seeing it for the first time. The house looks different, she said quietly. Clean, I replied, not looking up from my laptop. Turns out when you're not subsidizing someone else's lifestyle, you have more time and energy for yourself. She winced at that, setting her keys down on the counter with unnecessary care. Can we talk? Sure. Are you here to make a payment or negotiate new terms? She sat down across from me, and I could see she'd been crying. The bags under her eyes told me she hadn't been sleeping well. Good. Maybe that meant the lesson was finally sinking in. I think I made a mistake, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. You think I was reading those articles online and they made it sound like I was being taken advantage of, like I was some kind of victim because I did housework. I closed my laptop and gave her my full attention. This was the moment of truth. Either she'd learned something from her week away, or she was here to try another angle of manipulation. She took a shaky breath, clasping her hands together in her lap. Staying at my sister's place. She's single, works full-time, and spends half her income just on rent for a one-bedroom apartment. She eats takeout 4 nights a week, because she's too tired to cook. Her place is a mess because she doesn't have time to clean it properly, and she's lonely. Really, really lonely. I waited for her to continue, keeping my expression neutral. She needed to work through this herself. She told me I was an idiot for trying to turn our marriage into a business transaction. She said I had no idea how good I had it here. Your sister's a smart woman. She is, and she made me realize something else. She pulled up her monthly expenses on her phone. Rent, utilities, groceries, car payment, insurance, everything. Then she asked me to guess how much it all cost her, and I guessed maybe $1,500. It was over $3,000 just to live alone in a cramped apartment and eat frozen dinners. I could see where this was going, but I let her continue. She asked me how much money I'd have left over from my salary after paying those expenses. The answer was almost nothing. Maybe $200 for fun money if I was lucky. Sounds about right for single life. Then she asked me how much fun money I have now being married to you, and I realized I have over $800 every month that I can spend on whatever I want. Clothes, spa days, lunches with friends, whatever. The tears were starting again. I was complaining about doing dishes and laundry while living a lifestyle I could never afford on my own. She made me calculate what it would actually cost me to hire people to do everything you do. A handyman for repairs, a financial advisor for investments, a mechanic for car maintenance, a chef for home-cooked meals. It would cost more than I make in a month. I leaned back in my chair. And what conclusion did you draw from that? That I'm an ungrateful fool, who almost destroyed the best thing in my life, because some bitter women on the internet convinced me I was oppressed. Now she was getting it. But understanding the problem was only the first. How do I fix this? She asked, her voice breaking. Here's where most men would fold. They'd accept the apology, sweep everything under the rug, and pretend it never happened. But that's not how you build respect. That's how you ensure it happens again. You don't get to just say sorry and reset everything. You want to be my wife again instead of my business associate. Prove it. How? Now you can watch the 4th part by pressing share and more.